Everyone's been talking a lot about fake news as if this is a new thing. Well, this has been going on. I've been kind of thinking back to the situations where I've been personally involved in a situation that got picked up by the news, and every single time that's happened, the news has gotten a lot of important details very wrong. This was around 2009 when I was having a show at Art Gallery, and there was a big, fairly well-known art writer or art critic in attendance who spoke with me for a moment. And he asked me, "How long have you been showing art?" I replied that this is my first time showing art in this particular gallery. However, I have been showing art publicly in the commercial gallery scene since 2004. He looks at me and goes, "But how long have you really been showing art?" I say, "Well, I've been showing art in Toronto since this date. I've been showing art commercially since this date, since I sold work, a lot of work, at my very first show. I think that's a legitimate starting date." But none of these answers really satisfied the person. So I kept sort of digging and trying to find out what kind of answer he was looking for, and I eventually found out that they weren't interested in reporting the events. They weren't interested in talking about me. They had a story in mind of a certain small town hick in the middle of nowhere painting in a barn who enters the city and blows everyone away. That was the story this reporter wanted. I wasn't giving them that, so they moved on to the next person who pretty much made up a story, and that got reported on. So another situation where not a lick of truth in the actual events. This art reporter, they had a clear agenda. They didn't care about the truth. They had a particular story in mind, and they weren't going to settle until they found something they could stick that story to. And to me, that's the kind of fake news we should be criticizing relentlessly. And this was back in 2009. So this fake news thing didn't just start yesterday. It's been going on for a while. This wasn't a reporter talking to me directly, but I've been at a situation where things happened and it became newsworthy. And I've read the reports after the fact, and they're so far removed from my firsthand experience. In those situations, the reporting is so vastly different than my lived experience of being there at the situation that I now just find it impossible to read the news. So I don't think this meme of fake news is a necessarily new thing. I just realized I've been tapping my chest right where the mic is. This is probably all unusable.